I'm about to share with you a very special part of myself, which is the origin of Fairy Best Life. Fairy Best Life has been such an important beacon, a true north, created so much meaning and purpose in my life. I know part of my journey, part of Fairy Best Life is helping people realize their own version of that, how to live in their most authentic, most vibrant way. And such a big part of helping bring people into that reality for themselves is showing how I got there. Baby Sabrina knew she was a fairy. She didn't quite have the words, but she definitely believed in magic. Theater was the place where magic became real. You know, you're creating things with stagecraft wizardry and, set design and props and costumes. You're becoming characters and you're allowing audiences to be in this reality, yet entering a whole new world. I did start in the children's theater and continued with this love of theater, musical theater, right onto Broadway. And I did my first Broadway show at 9. I was in The Lion King and then went on to do Hairspray right after. That was my first time really being in the industry that I loved so much, but now in the industry side of it, as a professional. And there were aspects of that experience that forced me to grow up really fast. Magic started to separate from the way I lived my life. It started to be the entertainment that I enjoyed, while life became more about the career that I was pursuing. The concept of a career was instilled really early on, identifying as your talent or gift. I'm a singer, I'm a performer, I'm an actress. These parts of you that initially were just passions, were just the things that made you happy, the things that made your soul alive. As slowly my gifts, there was such a pressure around them that carried through college. I slowly lost sight of my truth. I entered a really dark place where nothing had meaning. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know who I was. I was identifying as this thing for so long, and then that very thing no longer brought me joy. I didn't even want to do it anymore. Which then meant, what do I do? Who am I? What am I doing with myself? It was a series of ego deaths, aspects of my identity dying away. The only thing that I could do that felt like there was no high stakes, that it might actually bring me joy, was arts and crafts. And I thought, what would be a fun thing to make? Fairy lanterns. Let's see how to make those. And I went online and I researched DIY fairy lanterns, and I just went until my whole bedroom was filled with these crafts. It wasn't until a quiet night I was looking around and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I a fairy? And I was just look at what was birthed when I just allowed myself to reconnect with that inner child. Look what happened. I transformed my bedroom into a fairy glen. And here I am now reckoning with the fact that I have forgotten magic and fantasy as such a core part of my being for so long. The night that this happened to be the winter solstice, 12/21, and it also happened to be the evening that my dear love proposed to me. Adding to the lore, we can't make this stuff up. So when they finally come home to pick me up for our surprise date, I was so overcome with excitement at this new insight that I discovered I was a fairy, that it didn't dawn on me as we were driving for a length of time to ask where are we going? What are we doing? And we come into this dark parking lot. All I hear is this rushing sound, this vibration under my feet, and I follow it to this roaring waterfall that is lit with all of these LED lights, beautiful hues of purples and pinks. I'm standing there, and all of a sudden, the trees that are rustling, there's a melody, there's a chant that I'm hearing This gift of music that I'd lost the true essence of, it was returning to me now through fairy, through the fae, through nature. And it was coming to me on the wind, this chant. I'm being recognized by nature now that I recognize myself. And my partner is like, okay, well, this isn't even the surprise. There's more. And they had like a multi-part surprise for this engagement, y'all. And they gave me this ring. And this is a gorgeous opal with diamonds. And the band is this tree branch. They knew I was a fairy. And I didn't until the night they gave me this ring. And then they placed this ring on my finger. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so fae. So fast forward a little bit. My partner and I decided that our wedding would be themed. It would be the elf and the fairy, of course. And so we were on a mission to find the venue that could really embody the magic of our love. And when we finally found it, on their coffee table at the wedding venue, they had a magazine called Enchanted Living. On it was a fairy. And I was like, what's that magazine? And they're like, oh, we were actually featured in this magazine as one of the most magical venues. And I was like, are you kidding me? First of all, this magazine exists and you were featured in it. We're getting married here for sure. This magazine opened up my world. I was exposed to all these people who were living in enchanted ways, their authentic expression through magic, through spirituality, through whimsy and art. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at all these people doing the thing. Like, I want to do the thing. I learned of this place where I could buy corsets. And so I bought like a bunch of corsets that were on sale. And then I was finding these pages on social media that were dedicated to fantasy cosplayers. And then I found Brown Sugar Fairies, which is this incredibly curated page of melanated fae folk. And that was it. I saw that and I was like, oh, I have found my people. I have seen proof of existence, and now I'm joining the community. I found this woman who created wings from scratch, and I was like obsessed with her designs. And I said to myself, she is who will make my wings. Like, I know this for a fact. And as soon as my corsets came in, as soon as my subscriptions from Enchanted Living came in, she put up a contest to win a pair of wings. And who won the wings? I won the wings. And y'all, when these wings arrived, you could tell me nothing.
It's happening.
This is just unreal now. Oh my gosh!
Oh, look at it.
Oh my goodness, look at them shimmer, look at them shine. Yeah.
When I wore my wings for the first time and saw myself with wings, if I didn't know before, I knew then, like, girl, you're a fairy. You are a fairy. You are magic. And you have so much magic to discover. The pure joy that simultaneously my child self, present self, and future self were experiencing in that moment of actualization, there was no turning back. My partner one day said to me, I'm so proud of you. You are truly living your fairy best life. And I said, what did you just say? And they said, you're living your fairy best life. And I was like, I am, aren't I? So once again, this person who I love with my whole heart, my soulmate, is able to see me so truly, they were able to name me. And I said, this is it. This is the mission. This is the mantra. This is the path forward. This is the compass. This is the true north. This is going to be the name. I started to identify as Fairy Best Life. It is who I live and breathe now. I've since been able to meet fairies who identify as such. And then I've been able to meet fairies who don't know yet that they're fairies. And then upon meeting me, recognize something in themselves that they'd forgotten. I've been able to take this art form of music and allow it to be something that truly creates portals these immersive experiences of magic in community garden spaces, been able to perform in castles. Like, this compass of fairy best life has opened up a reality that I didn't know was possible. The path has evolved. It's not just music anymore. Like, I know that I am more than a musician. I know I have this gift of music, but that I don't have to identify as such. I'm a fairy, you know? I make music, but I also love working with kids, and I love creating opportunities to inspire their belief in magic. And I love being able to reawaken the inner child in those that have passed childhood and help them rekindle their innate superpowers and remember that they are magical, because we are all magical. It does not necessarily mean you got to wear fairy wings. Like, the way of Fae is the way of true authenticity, the way of vibrantly expressing yourself and taking whatever form is truest and most aligned for you. Existing in a world where all are welcome. The Fae realm is open to all. The Fae realm has goblins and fairies and pixies and tree ents and vampires and witches, all the werewolves. I mean, it's endless. The Fae realm is endless, and it works because everyone is operating in this harmonious way with this magical realm. And if we could do that, if we could just understand that that's how that works. It works by everyone owning their unique individuality and showing up authentically in collaboration with this diverse, rich community of life force that then contributes to and receives from the environment, the world, this magical, magical realm. There is so much to be explored, so much to be learned from. My mission as Fairy Best Life is to help bring people into this awareness, to bring people into this enchantment for themselves in whatever way that looks like for them, just so that we can all be our truest, fullest, most vibrant, and that this realm can be that of the Fae realm, because it is already. It's just a matter of whether you're accessing it, whether you're tapping into it, and the way you do that is by showing up fully as your truth. So, my friends, I hope if you've walked away with anything, it's that you are magical. You deserve to live in your fullest, most vibrant way. And I hope that a little bit of Fairy Best Life can be sprinkled onto you and inspire you to show up fully in your most authentic self. And let's make this Fae realm a reality, y'all. Let's do it. All right, lovelies. Until next time.